I believe in the power of 1%. I believe in that power. It's the daily objective that I have to be 1% better than what I am yesterday. Um, I seen this example a few years ago at a NASCAR race. It was actually the Brickyard 400 up at Indianapolis at the Indianapolis Historical Motor Speedway. And I was struck they had the evening before they had the starting lineup in the qualifying times. And this is a 2.5 mile track. This is where the Indianapolis 500 races for the IndyCars in May. Spectacle. But it's a 2.5 mile track, big track by anybody's standards. But the difference between the qualifier on the pole position, which is the front position, and guys that didn't make the race that year was less than a second. So 2.5 miles qualifying, they do a couple of laps, and then the best times, get placed. So on a 2.5 mile lap, one guy was a second better than other guys, and some of them were a lot closer than that. But there were guys that were a second slower, and they didn't make the race. So that is the power of the 1%. That is the power of just incremental. I remember hearing one of the racers, heard some conversation with him. I don't think it was the same race. It may have been the same race, maybe a different race. But when they pulled in to start practice, they had some kind of steering box issue. So it wasn't driving properly. So they were busy diagnosing that. And so they weren't able to practice all that they needed to because they were focused on that mechanical issue. And it is impacting the car. Obviously, they had to do it, but it just took valuable time. So they had a lot less practice. So when it came to qualifying, not being as prepared as some of the other cars, they had a poor qualifying position, which meant they were further back in the pit lanes. So they started behind, and then they had a less desirable pit stall. So it compounded their race, and eventually they got involved in a wreck and was taken out. But it's just that power of that 1%, going the other way, kind of other example and stuff. But it's everywhere we go. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens suddenly. We wake up and stuff is instantly good or instantly bad. It happens, day by day. But I just choose to utilize it for good, utilize it to move forward, utilize it to improve what I'm doing. But that power of 1% day by day, because it compounds, because the 1% of the total each day becomes bigger. It's kind of like that doubling a penny. Take a penny, first day of the month, double it, and it becomes 2 pennies, and double it, 4 pennies, 8 pennies, 6 pennies, 32 pennies, etc., etc. And by the time the end of the month is done, you got several $1 million just through the compounding effect, or doubling effect, actually, that is. But it's similar process, but it just rolls onto itself. So have a great day. Stay ready.